Hey man, what's going on with this network? Big bro.
Later.
Yeah, I think we're good now.
Sharp, sharp.
Yeah, you had a good day?
I did. I did. Cape Town is a little bit hot today, but earlier on it was cloudy. But ilanga laphuma, so it's been a good day, easy day,
Makes me
rest day.
wonder which weather do you prefer?
Which weather do I prefer? It depends. If I wanna if I wanna stay indoors, and then I'll go for the the weathers, and then if I wanna go out and the sun is better.
Yeah. Alright, cool. So let's not waste any time. We want to get to know the man behind the crazy footballer, bro. Like you've been insane. First of all, let me introduce my guest. Today we have a very, very, very special guest, an icon, a legend in the game. Like I don't even know if like me calling him a legend is an understatement or what, but like it's a big debate whether he's an Orlando Pirates legend, Celtic legend. Bruh, he's a South African football legend, Mike Msabunga Mazi Mayambela. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for inviting me, and I hope we have a good time.
Dango. El Professor, in to take it on Respect you, my brother. So like let's talk about you, my brother. You grew up in Cape Town, right?
Yes, I grew up in Cape Town in Khayelitsha. There's a township called Khayelitsha C-section.
Okay.
It's the main part of Khayelitsha, or maybe the first part of Khayelitsha that was established, maybe.
Okay, so let me get this a little bit clear. You said you grew up in Eshele, like I'm not sure about the name, Eshele, and then you've been moving around until you ended up in Nobokwe, right?
No. That is my roots.
Yeah.
That is my roots. That's where my my ancestors come from my mom's side, actually.
Yeah.
It's Eshele. They from that side of Eshele, that side of Amahlubi, and then they moved to Echofimvaba, a place that is called Kwanopoko, as you have mentioned. Um, so yeah, that's the roots. But I was born here in Cape Town. But
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But
okay.
yeah, you know, Eastern Cape is home.
You still visit?
Yeah, of course, of course. I think I'm gonna also go now in December when we close. So yeah, when the season is done or is in recess.
Yeah, gotta go get the blessing. So let's talk about the kind of childhood you had. What kind of child were you like after school? What would you normally do after class?
Typical township boy. Um, what what we did the most was to play football. We also play cricket sometimes,
Ooh.
but mainly let's start there. So, but mainly it's football from exeni before class, lunch, small break, after school, training. It always has been football, football, football. I wasn't even umuntu wabuchere, so it's for me it was always about football.
Uh, so like, did you always dream about being a football player, or did you have some school kind of dreams?
To be quite honest, I never really had a dream early on in my childhood. I think when I joined Old Mutual Academy, that's when maybe I saw a little bit of light,
Yeah.
playing in a more structured academy, you know. Um, so I think from then, that's when I also realized that maybe I can have a future or a life in football. And I remember when I played for Old Mutual Academy, they were calling me Skara, in the resemblance to Asana Ngobese. So
Yeah.
also that got me attached to to professional football. Especially I got attached to Uskara as well. So that's when now I could because also I remember in 2007 I went for trials in Free State for Free State Stars, and I also went to Super Sport. I think when I was attending these trials and having to play or train with professional players, that's when maybe we started to click Uguti. Maybe I can create a life with football, yeah. But early on in my childhood, it has always been about just playing and having fun. That's that's it.
You mentioned that you've been to some trials and they were not successful. How did that make you feel? Did that not make you want to give up in a way?
Not really, not really, because also you coming from a very humble home and a humble environment, and when you go there, it's more of an excitement more than maybe fighting to get a contract or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's more of the experience more than getting to be signed. You know? So even when I didn't get signed, really I didn't mind, because when I came back to the academy and I played again, and I forgot even that I went for trials and I continued with life, because the only thing that I wanted to do was to play football. But now the hunger was a little bit more, because of now I can see, also coming from Free State Stars, coming from Super Sport United as well, training with Abu Tiko, Abu Katlego Mashiko, Katlego Mpela, Isaac Mabotsa, they had that team. We are one of big players. So also for me, it was a dream. So it was more of a something that also encouraged me than maybe discouraged me, because maybe I didn't get signed.
Yeah, factual, like makes a lot of sense. I think it would have been like much worse if you were not in an academy, but because you were in an academy, it kind of made it a bit easier.
No,
So
for sure, for sure.
fast forward, you move to Celtic. Your first official contract with you, Mark Mayambela. Like you get straight to the first team. You don't even have to call like, bruh, you've been feeding trials and now you go straight to the first team. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, because I remember it was 2007 actually. They came. Who Ike Augusto was the CEO of the club, and with who David Modise. He was then the senior scout of the club. So they came to Cape Town because there was some relationship between Old Mutual and Bloemfontein Celtic. So they came. We were playing Ajax, so they watched the game. Uyabo. I was playing as a left back. So I played. We lost 2-1. So as I'm walking from the ground into the changing room, I could see Ike Augusto, David Modise, and the the academy director. They were standing having a chat. So as I'm passing, bona, David Modise points at me and says, this one. Uyabo?
Yeah,
And but for me, I did as long if I can, I continued, went to the change room, forgot about it. Like it's Katsaham. I remember when I got a call, it was maybe November. Imagine that happened. We played the game in January, Feb, and then in November, only then that they gave me a call and said, I must come and train with the team. So for about 2 weeks, so that coach Kabozondo can see me. Uyabona? So I went to Bloom. I stayed for 2 weeks, played football, enjoyed, and I was also welcomed well. And the team liked me, and also the environment was good for me, and also the coach liked me. Uyabona? So the coach he spoke to me, he spoke to the club, he said, no, Lomfana, I'm signed. Uyabona? So I signed, but I went back to I could only play January, because this is in Besay Val.
yeah,
So I came back to the academy, and then I played the last few games of the season. And then I went back to Bloom again in December, to train with the team again, to get used to the team and Tolinda and all of that. So ngahlala until the December Christmas break, and then came back to Cape Town at home. And then in January again, I Bloom and I started to train, and my contract had kicked in. Yeah.
Like at Celtic, bro, you made miracles. You scored some goals, made some skills, and you made some memories that like, I think most of us we remember most of like the beautiful things you did in Celtic. That those were crazy, bro. Like it was insane. Do you ever watch some of your old videos?
I do. And also recently, there's a lot of Abantu that has uploaded these videos, Kuma, TikTok, YouTube, and
Yeah,
people would tag me, would send them to me, Instagram. So I could see, I watch them, and it's nice to also see, it's also nice to know that you have played a little bit part in South African football, and especially in Bloom. I think for me, that's my highlight of my career. I think also it's a place where, or it's a journey that was heaven sent, to me, because it was so nice in Bloemfontein, like from the management of the club, from the players, the supporters were top class. They loved their club. They loved their players, and it was not easy for me not to give my best, because I knew Guti Labandu, they love me so much and they expect so much for me or from me. When I play, even if I come from the bench, I always try to give my best. But of course, you're not always gonna do well and also always gonna play well. But
yeah, yeah,
I always try to keep my best, because I remember, there were some games whereby they would call the ball for me. I'm maybe playing as a left wing and the midfield has the ball, and hey, pass, mark, and
yeah.
the excitement that they will get when I have the ball, when I play, it's something that had always encouraged me to always do well. And for me, I always say to people that I'm forever grateful to Bloemfontein, and to the people of Bloemfontein and everyone that was associated with the club back then. The players that I played with, about Tapelo Liao, Lebo Kukame, Lakim Zizi, I could mention Soulmate,
Yeah.
Moses Pandiel, Also, there were players that we played in the same position, but they never had Umona and all of these things.
Yeah,
But they helped me. Players like Abo Chipa, Soulmate, players that I watched playing when I was a little bit younger. So you know it was a beautiful journey of my life that sometimes also when I think about it, and I get these beliefs, because coming from a Kailicha in the whereby there's no hope, and going to a place like Bloemfontein, and Abantu would appreciate you and love you. Yabona. So for me, it was really a beautiful journey, and I'm forever grateful, for having to play that part, and especially for that club.
What do you think was it that made you so successful at Celtic? Was it the fans?
I
And
think the whole environment. Um, I remember, there were games whereby maybe it's the score is 0-0 or the score is 1-0. We are down, and maybe I'm not having a goodish game, and the older guys like the Abo Tabontete, like
mm,
the Teko Mutoto, they were older than me, and Bazoza and say, Mark, we need you, Mfana. We know that if you play well, you're gonna win this game. Come on, yeah, when I shock, I'm fit to push, Mfana. So some of these things played a big role. Yeah, and they play a big role in a player's confidence as well. And come back second half and probably win the game, or even draw the game, or even lose the game, but I will have a different mentality and a different attitude, going to the second half as well, because of such people, and also the coaches that were there. Also, the club boss, Jimmy Augusto, he loves me. He loved me so much. That guy, when I did well, he always showed gratitude. So the environment, as I said, was very nice for me, and it was an environment that was easy to succeed. That's why also when you look back and you see other players that came from other clubs that went to Bloom, you know, when they went to Bloom, they went there and they succeeded, and they went on to play for bigger clubs as well. So I think also the environment for of Bloom was like that, or was built from that, and the culture. You know, it's a city that has culture. You know, Bloemfontein is part of the culture. So, you know, Masgali game from the morning, Jay, when we at camp and we have to take maybe those morning walks. Everyone in Bloom, everyone you see in the street is wearing a green and white
Hey,
t-shirt. Abantu that goes to, even if Umuntu is not gonna go to the game, but they wearing green and white. You know, at the
yeah,
hotel where we're sleeping, everyone is wearing green and white. So, you know, it shows how much they love their club. You know, so for us from the morning, Jay, it was, you know, switch on. You know, it was always about trying to you know, to give back to these people that love their club so much. You know, Abanye would leave work early to catch the games, because our home games most of the time were like 3 o'clock on Sundays. You know, so when you're driving through with the team bus, Elokshini, because we played Caesar Ramabodu Stadium, um, everyone would be excited, and you would see it's green and white, green and white. It doesn't
yeah,
matter if we play Amazulu or we play
yeah.
Tanda Zulu Royals. It didn't matter. You know, those people came and they watched us and they loved us so much and they loved their club so much. So, you know, for me, it was great inspiration, great inspiration. I didn't need um, anything else, you know, to inspire me and to show, or maybe show me Uguti, this is what I need to do. Hence, you know, I always tried my best. I always tried my best. But yeah, as I said, there were games that I didn't play well, many of them as well. But, you know, most of the time, my heart was always in a good place.
Yeah, like Celtics as one of the great, it used to actually have one of the greatest fan bases, like if not the best that we've ever seen in the country. But it was crazy. I think it's one of the things that helped a lot of players regain their confidence and be able to
For
just
sure.
showcase what they do. So like I want to understand, like while you at Celtic, you get a call. Actually, tell me how you got notified about Pirates wanting you. How did you get to know that?
Because in 2009,
Quick
it
man,
was
can, can I
2009 can you hear me?
can I before you go forward, like because Njawan is asking, like, how did you feel when Celtic was sold? I feel this question is good to ask before we move on. How did you feel when Celtic was sold?
No, of course, I was heartbroken for the people of Bloemfontein. I was heartbroken, you know, because also when it happened, you know, all the memories that I felt in Bloom, you know, was, you know, they came back. We about all the love that I got there when we, even when I left Bloom and played for Amanima clubs, when I went there to play, you know, you
Yeah,
know, you could see Uguti, the culture is still there, you know, and having to think that manje, there won't be a club in Bloemfontein, and these people won't watch a club that they loved so much, and they gave everything, you know, for this club. You know, I remember those days, you know, when I played for Bloom. If they see you at Chisanyama, those people will chase you away and bakutshele ukuthi hey hamba la wena awuhlogeki mo wena yabona, because they know ukuthi maybe this thing is gonna ruin chances of winning the game on the weekend. Yeah, so you know, we never really even went out or went to clubs or went to amachisanyama. If we are at Chisanyama, you will park your car somewhere, you know, under a tree, and you will be
yeah,
wearing a hoodie, and you won't be even enjoying what you do, and you'll just
yeah,
say, "Ah, let me go home," you know. So you know, it's the culture that these people had, you know, for us, and I think also indirectly or directly, so it helped us also to become responsible and knowing that these people don't want us to do this thing. So it now tells you that as a footballer, the kind of life that you need to live, or that you have to live as well. So um, you know, the culture at Blom is nothing compared to any club that I have played for.
yeah,
Um, you know, for that kind of a club to be sold, you know, it was injustice, not only to Abantu Base Blom, but also to
yeah.
South Africa football as well. Yeah, so but let's hope maybe one day someone will come and maybe ngizodlala Powerball and win 190 million and keep a 50 million by Bloemfontein Celtics.
So you would revive it if you could.
Yeah, if ngathola nje 190 million nje.
uh, so like speaking about the fans, there was this day, I think it was your last game, bro. They were singing for you. They were so happy for you. Like, how did that feel? Like, I mean, you're leaving and you know that I won't be getting this kind of support anymore. But then at the same time, you expect to get like more support at a bigger club like Orlando Pirates. How did that feel?
No, the thing is also is that when I left, I never really got a send off because maybe ngayazi ukuthi I'm gonna leave, and also nami I didn't know ukuthi I'm gonna leave, because I remember in 2009 the Pirates wanted to sign me then because it was December, so there was a meeting that was arranged, and then I flew to Johannesburg and I met with Orlando Pirates representatives and my agent as well, but we didn't get to an agreement, you know. And I went back to Bloom and I continued to play, you know. The season ended 2010 and then a new season started. But because I say pre-season, we were in Pretoria. I remember we were in Pretoria for camp, came back from training, still with Bloom. I got a call from my agent that the chairman who Dr. Ivan wants to see me. So he came in Wang Tata at the hotel, and then we went to Ehouting at his office. And now I went there and Kuluma, and but Ngapuma as a Orlando Pirates player. So I went back to the hotel. I took my stuff. I went. I remember because I left my car in Bloom, so I had to go to Bloom. I think I flew down to Bloom, and then I took my stuff and I took my car, and I drove to Johannesburg for my new club.
So the chairman himself, like the chairman himself.
Yeah, no. The chairman himself. You know, it's not easy to say no for chairman.
Hey man, especially because he came himself. He did not send people. Like he came. It means it's very special.
Because I need to the you know there were two attempts. Two attempts. First
Oh,
attempt we played. I remember we played Super Sport. But I was on the bench. I didn't play that game, so I was angry because I didn't play. And we won 1-0. But still, I was angry because I wanted to play this game, you know. And after the game, they tell me, Guti, I must. It was a Saturday. They tell me, Guti, I must stay behind because I need to meet up Abandobe Pirates. They want to discuss my future. Yeah, so since I was angry, I mean, I react. I'm not gonna go there. Yeah, I call my agent. I tell him, Guti, doesn't mean I'm not going there. Yeah,
yeah.
and I don't care, Guti, what do you do? I don't care what do they say. So I'm not gonna go there. Yeah, and then the team was angry because of this. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
boss, and then the guys, and then I went to the bus. And because I'm eating Sakwati, I went to the bus, I sat down, I call my agent, I tell him, I'm not going to this meeting. I thought, okay, sharp, I'm gonna speak to them. I sat at the bus and the guys started to come from the changing room. And then while I was sitting and then Bang Beza at the back at the stadium. So when I went there was the boss and the coaches and the boss was angry. You know, the chairman of the club, but hey, why you hamba? Hey, what? So they called someone from the Pirates. I wanted to speak to me, and I told him, "Nah, no, I'm not gonna come."
Mm-mm.
So I left, and then the club, like Bebe Kwatile that day. I remember this
Oof.
time in Pretoria. So
What were the
I
consequences?
ask you,
The consequences. What were the consequences of that?
let me tell you. So we went back to Bloom. We drove because we normally drive. So we drove back to Bloom, got there Sunday, um, and then Wednesday I think we were playing. So we had a recovery session. We trained. On Wednesday I was not in the team. We went Wednesday I'm not in the team. Okay, no problem. Bankipile from the 18. No problem. But I go to the stadium, they play. I think they lose. Badly, when
Ooh,
they play again Saturday. Or on a
against what?
Thursday. On a Thursday after the game, we go to a gym. Tina, we're gonna do a catch-up session, and then the guys that played Bazo recovery session.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
while I'm stretching, the coach comes to me and say, the reason that he didn't play this game is because of what happened on the weekends. That on the weekend that you refused to go to a Pirates. I won't go
Yeah.
to that meeting. So I'm still young. I wanna I don't care what they do. And then Saturday we're playing a game as well. Still Bang Tropil. I'm not in the team on Saturday. The team was announced on Friday. So I'm not in the team. No problem. I go home, I relax. Saturday morning I get a call from David Modise. So David, I'm from Lalela. I spoke to the boss. He wants to see you. So come Lana at the hotel. But when
Okay.
you come here, call me and apologize and blah 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 blah. No problem. I drive, I get there. I'm in your actor. Sharp. They play. I think we played Marisburg and we drew 1-1 or 2-2. Something like that. And then the very next game, we were playing Chiefs. I remember very well, we were playing Chiefs on a Tuesday in Pretoria. So I was in the team now after the meeting. So I went to Pretoria. I started the game, mind you. Started the game, we played, we drew 1-1, and then that's when the second meeting happened now with one of the representative of Pirates, and also nothing happened. It was also late December, and then I came back to Bloom. I continued with the season, but I think also the pressure from Pirates was becoming more and more, and also maybe there was a financial gain from the club. So I decided to they sold me.
So before Pirates sold you, like the first season you went there, I think it didn't go so well, and you were loaned to cheaper, right?
At Pirates?
Yeah.
No, I was never loaned. I stayed 3 years, full years, never loaned.
You were never loaned
I
to. So when you went to
no
cheaper,
no I never got loaned. I know when I was there, Golden Arrows wanted me and Chipa
yeah.
wanted me because I spoke to Chipa himself. So there was loan possibilities, not the first season, the third season.
Fair.
I think from the second leg of the second season, yeah. But the first
Oh,
season I played under Rudy Kroll. That's when we won the first treble. So I
hey,
played.
man.
There was no really big problems, but there were problems.
So under Rudy Kroll, most of the time you were coming in as a sub, right?
Yeah.
How did that feel? Did that kind of make you feel underappreciated, or did you love the impact you were making because you were making people happy with the last years you were coming on?
I think it was a bittersweet moment because I come in, I change the game, the team wins.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I feel good. I deserve to start. Because every time when I come in, I help the club. I help the club. I have for many times. I think there's many games that we won from me coming on as a sub. So it as I said, I think it was bitter and sweet at the same time because I wanted to play regularly like any other player. But I think also that became a weapon for Urudi because he thought also because I remember I assistant coach who's this guy Craig Rosley.
Yeah.
I spoke to him about this, and then what his explanation was, the problem is that if I start the game and I don't do well, they felt too good. There is no one on the bench that can come in and have an impact in the game. You understand? So now I have to live with that situation as a super sub. Because I remember I think I played 26 games as a sub that season.
Yeah, 20 something.
So, but it was nice at the same time knowing that there is a little contribution that I make in the club. Yeah, but also the supporters were happy. They were always excited to see me play. But of course, sometimes mentally it also kills you because sometimes mawuhamba estradeni and abantu will say, but you deserve to start, and and also some of your teammates and say, labantu, yeah, this, all these maybe negative comment would also maybe to them it's positive start because they believe that you can start and you can do well and you can help the club and you can win games earlier on in the game. But they are positive in that way, but at the same time they are negative because it also depends on how I receive this message, and most of the time me receiving this message was not, or I didn't have a good attitude. I'm receiving these messages because they came into my head, and I told myself, "Good, labantu bayahlanya, why bangangidlala isivele?" Yeah, but so you go through such moments as well, but with time you get to understand and you get to be matured enough, and also with the help of players around you. It was also nice because Pirates had quality players back then, like Abo Andy, Abo Opa, Abo Tiko, Mashiko, top players. For me, we had the best. In that for me, in that 2 years, we had the best team, I believe, in the country. And also remember the next season, that's when Benika came, and that's when Abo Mataba came, Lizom Jembu came, many other players. There were also nice players that were included in the club. So, but it was a really, really, really nice experience as well. I know sometimes, most of the time, as a footballer, you want to play, you want to be on the field, but football is not only about playing. We have to be able to manage all the situation in football, and not playing or not playing regularly is part of the game, is part of football. But I think what's important for me, and also for maybe players that are going through that, is stay hungry. Wait for the opportunity. And waiting for your opportunity doesn't mean you wait and you don't do well, and you don't push yourself and you don't work hard. But you work hard, you still continue to give your best, you still continue to have a positive attitude. Because what's important is this: when you get this opportunity, you are supposed to be ready for this opportunity. The problem is that many players that I know I was also a victim of this. Many players that abangadlali or not giving a fair chance to play, they lose hope. They lose the hunger, and they don't give their best training session. And remember, as a footballer, the only way that you can improve is by always training first at a high level. You understand? So I think also it's also a mentality thing that when things are not going well, you start to lose, or you get discouraged. But for me, the best thing that you can have as a footballer is mentality. And if you have strong mentality, you get to waive these challenges that you get in football. Because I can tell you now, and I think also even the best of the best can attest to this, is that in life and in football, you somewhere, one way or another, you have to suffer. And in that suffering, it's where now all the greatest lessons that you attain. And the more you suffer in life, the more you become better as a human being, as a footballer. And so I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult. I tell my players, man, coach, and I see maybe they're having a bad game and they're having a difficult game, and I always tell them that too. I know it's difficult. I know, but within that difficulty, you need to soldier on, and you need to always maintain strong mentality, strong mindset. I think in football, especially since I'm a football person, I think that's the biggest weapon that you can have. And I remember when I was doing my UEFA B license, and when they spoke of sport, when we did a sports psychology class, and they said the top elite players, it's 80 to 85% mentality and 15 to 20% talent.
Okay.
So think about it, that you can be talented, you can have all the talent and all the skills, but if you don't have the mentality and the heart to maintain that high level and those challenges and that suffering and that sacrifice, and then it becomes difficult for you and your talent goes to waste, so it was a lesson that now I'm using for in my coaching journey and helping players to understand. But it takes time. It takes time.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's quite a lot of players that we can mention that were really, really good, but they never really got to withstand it because of, I guess, their mentality and stuff. So I don't want us to like get too deep into some things, but you've lost some people in your life, like your granddad. There's a moment where you were signed to Pirates, and your granddad was blind, right? How was it like the moment where you explained to him how you played and stuff? How take me through the emotional talk?
No, it was my granddad passed away while I was still at Bloemfontein Celtics, actually.
Celtics, not Pirates.
Yeah, he before I remember when we played, I didn't even go to his funeral for that matter. Um, I remember it was the reopening of the Vodacom Stadium in Bloem, and we were playing Pirates, a league game, after we beat them Gwinnett Bank 2-1 in Kimberley. So, of course, when I turned pro, he was old,
Mm,
bekasesengaboni kahle, and I remember when I went back in the preseason, the off season, and I drove down, and he was sick, bekangakho right, and I took him to a doctor, and for the first time we spoke, and we spoke for a long time, and I think also he was blessing me in some way, because he abantu bakdala, especially people that come from that direction, that generation, are not so open, but that day we got open and we spoke about a lot of things, and that was the last time I saw him. Yeah, so I took him to the
yeah.
doctor. We came back home. I bought him food. I bought him easy window that he needed. We spent time together, and then I had to go back to Bloom. Yeah, so after that he passed away, and then I came. Yeah, I remember I came back for I think 2 or 3 days, and then I went back to Bloom and played that game, and I think we drew 1-1. But also he was a father to me because um, I didn't have a relationship with my dad, back then, like I do now. So him and my grandmother were like our parents. Ngabantu that abasikhulisile, and so it's someone that also I got to understand what kind of a person that he was, because also when I went back to Eastern Cape to go back home where he come from, and you hear stories about him and how hard he worked and all of this to build a family as well. It's something that also inspires me to do. Yeah, but so yeah, he's played a huge part of my life, and for him, I'm always grateful. And Abantu, they always say ukuthi ngifana naye.
Which is, I believe it's sounding very good to your ears. So tell me, like, out of the football, I believe you were partying a lot. Like, you were the star, bro. Like, people love, they still love you even today. Like, there were players that we love, but we hate some certain things about them. But you were one of those people like Scar. We just loved everything about you, on and off the field. How would that affect your personal life? Like, when you go out, do you get too many girls? What's happening?
No, of course, it's unfortunate that it's I'm perks of being in this industry and being known and being seen and being portrayed as abantu that has imali, and most of the time it's
Yeah.
not really like that, they expect a certain lifestyle, they expect you to drive a certain car, and they expect you to wear certain clothes and to date certain girls, so it becomes overwhelming most of the time. Because it's time consuming and it get mal.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's also a cultural thing, not only inside football but also outside football as well. But yeah, you get girls that abakwaziyo abanye abakwazi. Awuze umayambela waphi ubani wena bhuti asikwazi, so you get those as well. So it's, but most of the time, of course, they love, most abantu, they love football. Omunye will know because maybe the guys that are with Aki or Mark Owen. So it happens like that. But yeah, of course, also you get excited by this thing because you're not used to it.
What would you say was the wildest night after a game?
Wildest night after a game.
Yeah. And which club were you playing for at that time?
Jesus Christ. But I think the nights that I enjoyed the most is when I, especially when I was at Pirates, maybe we'll go and play in Durban, or we'll play in Pumalanga or Pulugwani, and then after the game,
We back. We good?
yeah,
Oh, I believe network had some problems. Yeah.
no
Yeah, we were
problem.
saying
Konji, where was I when we cut?
we were talking about the wildest night we've had like after a game, and you said it was at Pirates.
No, I was saying what I enjoyed the most was, especially when we go and play maybe in Pumalanga or in Pulugwana,
Yeah.
after the game, we will get together as a team and we'll sit maybe in one player's room and, we'll have fun and we'll chill and we'll talk about the game and we'll laugh. And, I think for me, those days were very special because also from team building was nice. I think also the wildest is when we won the league in Durban. I remember we won the league in Durban, and we went to some club in lapho. What's it called? Somewhere in Durban. I don't remember these clubs. And then Upeni was there, so Upeni was doing everything. So, and
How did it
everyone is
feel
there.
like? Oh my God, you kind of cutting, so I didn't mean to cut you off. How did it feel like playing with Benny?
No, it was a privilege for me to play such a player, such a humble human being also. You would never say Uti he has achieved what he has achieved or he has done what he has done as a football player. I think he was loved by everyone in the team, in the club, all the players. He fought for us. He also used his stance as a footballer and as a person to fight certain battles for us as footballers and especially at the club. So for me, it was really, really special to have someone like him in the club. But also there were many others like our Lucky Likhwati, also when Nulu
Yo, bro.
Bogamoto came. Who else was there? I was Siyabonga Sangweni, those were like Amakrotman, and also they behaved like Amakrotman, and it's people that we also look up to when it comes to also behaving and handling yourself as a footballer and as a human being.
Would you say that was the best team you've played with? I mean, the prime Andile Jalian, Upamanyisa, Daintley. Yeah, yeah, look crazy, bro.
Yeah, I think,
Lucas Tala.
yeah, I think you can say that. I think also, especially the first season with Abotiko, Mashiko, Masina, Ruben Klute. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so
For me, that 2 years was, I think Pirates was the best team in the country.
it was. And The trophy said you can't win everything and not be the best.
It
So
seems like
I
you're a
want to ask
Pirates.
how you were saying.
It seems like you're a Pirate supporter.
No, I'm a Chief supporter. I'm actually mad that you
Ah,
never came to us.
yeah.
Can you tell us like what really happened? You said Chiefs wanted you like for a certain time. Can you tell us what really happened?
Yeah, it happened many, many times, but honestly, it never really materialized. It never moved from the initial communication to actually sitting down and talking about the contract. Um, but it's something that I think I would have loved to do and to play for that team, because also it's a team that I grew up I'm supporting as well.
Yeah,
Also
fair.
being attached to Uskara as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I always wonder how would it have been. Yeah, but um, but there's no regrets. I still love the club. It's a beautiful club.
Well, at least you did get to play against Scara. Like, tell me how were those games, especially the one where you got introduced at the same time.
Yeah, that one was a special game. We were playing. He was playing for Thunder Zulu Royals. We were playing in Devon.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think the first time when I was in Bloom, because Ulaki used to play with him, so Ulaki, we stayed at this in the same house, no like Umzizi. So
Home scene.
Umzizi,
Oh.
yeah. So Ulaki calls Uskara. Yeah, hey, come down. And Oscar, he's like chilled on the other side of him. Sure, Dwana. Like easy, relaxed. Yabona, like yamtshela ukuthi hey kunomunye umfana la bathi uMark ini mfana lo mfana unamasimba lo udlala njengawe hey uyabona.
Yeah.
So yabona mara yena urelaxile yabona, and I'm like, hey, this guy, why are relaxing kanje this guy? Hey, he was like calm yabona. So I said a few words, Nami, sharp. And then we played them, I think, a few months later at Devon. I think we're playing Mlaz, King, what's the stadium?
Kings
Prince
with the
Mark,
team.
Kings Wellington, yeah, Kings Wellington Stadium, yeah, we're playing there. So as when I'm warming up, when they call me, and I can do that side by Ambiza. So we were standing together, lapa like he was. And then he went on first. Yeah, one of the king went on first, and I'm looking at him jogging inside the field, and the whole game I was like looking at him like I wasn't even playing. I don't even remember how I played. I don't think I even had a good game. I was like watching him, and yabona nje makajoga when he gets the ball, and I'm like, this guy, bafethu uStara. I was like amazed, man. I'm telling you, and I was starstruck, and I remember when after the game, when they are leaving Bahama, I see him passing. I still remember he was wearing a black cap, lama close back, but this part uyibhekise emuva, and uyabona urelaxile laphayana ngithi this guy. And then later on I met uPapi Zotwani, and they were close friends, and he was telling me my stories about Uskara, and funny enough, they got drive Mini Cooper. And then now my first car at Celtic, I bought a Mini Cooper, uyabona, because of
Yeah,
Uskara,
yeah.
So
Wow.
it's a pity that I like really I met him officially like in Naye, but abantu that were close to him, I happened to later on in my life also I met like abantu abafana nabo Papi, and that will tell me stories about Skara, and he was a funny guy.
Yeah. It makes sense why they compared you to Scara. First of all, y'all look the same. Before you even go to like the play, y'all look the same. So it makes a lot of sense. I want us to touch on like a bit of the set news. How close were you with Cecil Lolo?
Usesilola, I think we played from under 10, under 11 together. I remember there was also a time when we went to ama-trials, the under 13 ye-Hellenic. Besihamba ngebhasi to Lansdowne Road together with other guys, Abo Xolani Tutu, Abo Ket, Makumba, Andile. I think there were 5, 6 of us. We were probably the best players in Kailich at that time, youth football. So,
Damn.
we went there because we were called by there was a guy called the late Utakigi, Cecil. He was also Cecil, I think, yeah. So he was the one that invited us to go. But I remember only two of us got signed. It was Andile and someone else, and then the rest of us never really got signed. But also it was gonna be strenuous for us to travel by bus every day to training and stuff. So that's when we really got along, and he played for a local club, Lana African Tribes, and I played for First 11. So we were like rivals, but also we were friends because we'd meet. Because there was, Goma selections, district selections, provincial selections, you would meet lab, or Magnama trials, we would meet. So, and then also now when he turned pro, and then now we started to be really, really close now when I was at Bloom and he was at Ajax, but I think he was loaned to Avondale Atletico. And now we were like closer, we were older, you know. He was a top guy. Top guy. He with him, he was so humble that everyone Lana they loved him, and for me and me now as the villain because bangithi lo uyazitshela lona uyabona because I didn't give them lesser space, yeah, ngithola. But with him he was like easy guy, he's like typical township
Yeah.
guy, ngithola ne. So but he was a top guy, that one. He was top.
So where are you when you receive like the sad news, and what was your reaction to it?
I was in PE. I was playing for cheap, I remember. I got a call from my younger brother, Michal. I was
Yeah.
sleeping. I remember I was home. Yeah, I was home. Michal calls me. Guti ended. Someone called him and told him, Guti, this guy had passed away. Yabon? Yeah. So much I'm trying to call Abantu, yabon. I'm calling Abantu. I'm saying I've manje, like the whole night in phone Abantu to verify this, and
Yeah.
and it was a Saturday, I remember. I think, yeah, it was a Saturday. So abantu basemjayiveni, you don't get hold of abantu because abanye balele, abanye badakiwe. And I got hold of my friend Usia, and Usia, no, don't worry, I'm gonna drive to Leandau. So they drove to the accident, and they saw his car. And I remember a week or two before, I was in Cape Town. So I told him, good that I'm gonna come to Cape Town. So he had to, no worry, was after they won the MTN8, because I was with him in PE because the final was played in PE, so we were together. So I came, and he had bought a new car, a Call 4, a silver Call 4 GTI or something. So I know I want to come, I want to show you my car, blah, 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 blah. And then he comes, we chill together. It was during the week, hey, easy, Chisanyama, Candy. That was the last time I saw him. But we spoke in that duration. I want to, sharp, on a phone call, message, And
Yeah.
now when I got a call from my brother, Mihlali, I had to call around, and then eventually I got hold to see. I went to the scene, and then they confirmed. And I didn't sleep. We were training in the morning. On Sunday, I remember. I didn't sleep until I went to training. Until the whole night I was up. Took a shower, had a little bit of breakfast, and I went to train. I trained like that, and now
When
social media started to, people started to post, and yeah, that's how I heard about his death. Yeah, I was in PE.
were you even able to train like after the news?
No, I trained. I trained, my brother. I trained.
How did that affect you emotionally?
Of course, losing someone that close to, someone that you did most of is with, someone that you know the struggles, he knows your struggles, someone that I remember we used to cry together, like we are grown-ass men, but we will cry and
Yeah.
he was also a umuntu that was on the affection, uyabona? And we were close, we were close, and having him as a brother, as more than a friend, and having his family as my family and my family as his family as well. When I'm not here, he would come at home and Abu Angen and greet my mom. I would do the same, And when I go to his place, Uguti Nyumlanda, his mom won't have a problem because Uguti Mark, these guys are friends, So it was really really difficult. Um, it's not maybe it's easier now, but it's not easy also for his family as well, because they lost a son, they lost a breadwinner as well, so it's not easy to apprehend such things, and it's not easy
Yeah.
also, especially a male figure that also leaves kids behind as well, so it's but we trust that things will be maybe better with time, I believe. I don't know. But it's we miss him.
May his soul keep on resting in peace. Like he broke a lot of hearts. So let's get on the good news a little bit. You're moving out of South Africa now. I can't pronounce the name of the club. Like I really can't pronounce it. I don't want to make stupid names. How did the call come about? How did you know that? Okay, I'm about to leave now.
I remember there was something that we were doing, a social thing. So we had a meeting with Usia and some of the guys who was the Steve. There were 3 or 4 of us in this meeting. So while we were
Lukwelea.
discussing, yeah,
Steve Lukwelea.
no, like in guys here, like Cape Town.
Oh, okay.
So while we were discussing, a call came to Steve, So he spoke on the phone, and then he drops the phone and he says to me in the middle of a discussion, and would you consider going to Sweden? He said it like that, The
Yeah.
Sweden, yeah, for sure, no doubt. Goes back to his phone, he makes a call, and then he says sharp.
Yeah.
And then I was supposed to, and luckily enough, I had 2 or 3 clips Zami on YouTube. So we send these people my clips. It was in December, just December time. We send these guys my clips. They go and watch. They like the clips. They wanted to understand my situation. Lucky enough, I was free. And
Yeah.
but don't worry, we'll send a invitation letter so that I can be able to do my visa. 2 or 3 days later, invitation letter comes. The call comes from actually the guy that initiated the deal was Raymond Pinar. Raymond Pinar is the older brother yaga Anile Ngcono.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Ray initiated this. So now Ray calls and say, no, the letter has arrived, and then we need to go and do a visa. So we go to town, visa office, we do the visa sharp. I think it took about 5 to 7 days. And then the visa came, they booked the flight. And then the visa came in January. And then they booked the flight. And then I flew down to Bloom. I remember Manghambala, normally Cape Town, January, it's peak summer. I want January, it's
Oh.
peak summer. So mina ngirelaxile, ngifake i-tracksuit, t-shirt, I fly. When I land in Stockholm, Jesus Christ, like
Cold.
it's peak
Freezing.
winter. It's peak
Yeah.
winter, snow,
Ooh.
Jesus Christ. Now, meaning, go back to my bags, take out stuff, I change, I wear warm stuff, and then by a figure, they take me. and then I go to the clubhouse. But when I get there, it was like afternoon, maybe about 1. So the guys had already trained. So there's a few that abasele. So I meet the coach, and then the coach actually knows on Tata for a session, for at least
Yeah.
to get ready for tomorrow, which is the session with my players. So I went with him, and we did like small technical stuff in jail. Passing, shooting, turning, blah 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 blah. And then I trained with the team. I think after, and then they had a preseason camp in Spain, in Malaga. So, but they were gonna take me to Spain. When you go to Spain, because Magic Sweden, and I'm not comfortable. I'm not used to
Yeah.
this. But yeah, but I'm trying to push and to fight through this thing. When you go to Spain, and we're playing in artificial pitches in Sweden.
Ooh. Yeah.
And I'm not used to it because in South Africa we use grass.
Yeah.
But when you go to Spain, luckily enough, it's summer. The pitches, grass pitch.
Yeah.
It's like South African weather, South African feel, and it, there was something that just switched on for me now when we landed in Spain, because of the weather, because of the environment. I felt it was similar to South Africa. And then I was like buzzing. My training session, I was buzzing. My training session in Spain, I was buzzing. We played in Lokomotiv Moscow. I think we also played another team we played 2 teams from Russia actually that were playing Champions League. We played these 2 friendlies, and I was buzzing, and the club signed me. I mean, I signed in that they prepared the contract then. When we went to Spain, there was no contract talks. But after we have landed in Spain, Martin, after maybe 3-4 days, when born and passing, Martin, no, there's no chance. When we go back to when we go back to Sweden, these guys should have signed already. So I signed my contract. At Grandstand in Spain. While the guys
Wow.
are training, I signed my contract.
Sabuga Maz, El
So,
Professor.
yeah.
How was the stay?
My what?
Sorry?
How was my what?
How was the stay? How would you say like your
No,
success was on?
overall it was very nice. I enjoyed it. It was not nice at the beginning because of the weather, playing with snow, playing what's this? It was cold. My glove, like 2 socks. It's not easy. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
But
get
but
used to it.
but I managed, and I managed. And luckily enough, when we came back, we played a few friendlies. And the nicest thing is this: our home ground stadium, we are Konogul Vala, like Pizul. We are one so by Konogul Vala, so there's no snow that comes in, and it's not that cold. We are one
Yeah.
so, and then summer came, and then it was a little bit easier.
So speaking about all those challenges, what fears did you have for Mikali when he finally got a move to abroad?
What?
What fears did you have for Mikali when he finally got a
Fears?
move abroad?
Fears?
Yes.
No, I didn't have one for him, because I was more excited for him that he's going to play in Europe. I was more excited that he's gonna move away from Umak and be his own man and create his own legacy and his own career. To move away from being compared to me, because I believe Uguti, if he had played PSL, it was always going to be a situation whereby
Yeah.
now he's always being
Yeah.
compared. Fanaka Mark, he plays like Mark, da 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 da. And I think that was the best thing for him. That's something that I also prayed for, and I said, I wish this guy can play and stay in Europe and finish his career in Europe. Yeah, but I can only pray for happy when he signed also with Jew Gardens. And I knew Guti, it's not going to be easy, but he was still young. He was 19, 20 when he signed. So he was going to grow also. And, it's nicer when you go to Europe when you are a little bit younger. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that you can also adapt quicker as well as also as a player. because also there's like differences, cultural differences, social differences, and the environment is not the same, weather is not the same, the language is not the same. So um, I knew that it was not going to be easy, but I think also he managed and he did really, really well, and he still does really, really well. And recently got a collab for Ibafana Bafana, which is something that was huge for him and also huge for the family and also especially his mom. You know, I'm really, really proud of him and what he has achieved. And because it's not easy being alone in Europe, away from family and all of the lazy. And he has a son. He's away from his son as well. I can imagine how difficult it is, but I think he has a big heart. He has managed the past 6, 7 years, and I think he can play another 10 years in Europe. Yeah.
Okay, let's play a little game before we get to the coaching stuff and end it up, okay? So I need you to choose between these players now, okay?
Don't make it too
Scaron
easy for
Gomez,
me.
Ultra, Scaron Gomez, Tabo Moki,
Scar.
because you're compared to him.
Utabo is my front man. Tiki Tiki is my front man. I have big respect for Tiki Tiki. When I was in Jozi, I spent also. I was privileged. I was privileged to spend a lot of time with him. He's a cool guy. Cool guy, Utabo. But football wise, Scar.
Okay, Ronaldo Messi.
Ronaldo Messi. I'm inspired by Ronaldo, to be quite honest. I don't compare them, but I'm inspired by Ronaldo, and I choose Ronaldo.
Okay, now that you're a coach, Pep or Mourinho?
Pep.
Why?
Pep. Pep. Because of nothing away from Umori, I take nothing away from Jose.
Yeah.
But Pep, not only from a football point of view, but also mentality-wise, he's been there in that high level for 6, 7, 8 years, and it's always high level. Pep can coach a second league team, and you would see this is Pep's team
Yeah,
because of how he wants. His ideas are clear. So, for me, I like him. You can see also with abantu abafana no Mikel Arteta, the inspiration yakhe nabo Ten Hag as well. So Pep.
Who's winning the league according to you?
Where?
EPL.
EPL. I would love for Arsenal to win the league.
Wow.
Because of Mikel, because of what he has done and what he has been through last season. Because I remember when the club was not doing well, I wonder what he must be fired, and with the Abiamang situation, with the Ozil situation, how also he stood for his word as well. I remember also when I watched the All or Nothing, I was so intrigued, in how he manages his team and how he manages his players, and from a mentality point of view, he's a monster. He's a big monster. He inspires me a lot. If you had said between Pep and Mikel, I would choose Mikel because also, first because maybe he recently retired and he was a footballer as well, and the kind of football that he wants his team to play. He's a young coach, brave guy. I want Arsenal. Just for that, I would love for Arsenal to win the league.
Wow. So which team do you favor?
I used to support Manchester. I don't support them anymore because of what happened to Ronaldo.
Okay. So you think he was right? Manchester was wrong. That's what you say.
100%. It's visible for everyone to see.
Cool. I mean, a lot of people complained about some things before. So moving on, Gordon Igerson or Gavin Hunt?
Gordon Igerson.
Okay.
Because Gordon gave me a chance when he was at Supersport, he believed in me. He signed me from cheaper to Supersport. So I choose
Yeah.
him for that. And I choose him because also he believes in players, he believes in South African players. I remember when he gave Lerato Chabang a chance as well, and many other players that came to Swallows that he gave a chance and they did well. So for that, I give it to Mr. Egerson. And I saw him the other day here in Cape Town.
Wow, shout out. So those Olela or Dintley?
Sorry?
Those
Close
Olela
Corella
or Dintley?
Wara. Kitsamali Wara. Close Corella. And because also too, we have a relationship also outside football.
Oh,
We
okay.
also talk. We still talk. We stayed in the same place while I was at Pirates as well. He's a good guy. He's a good guy, and he's been doing really nice things. In Ellen, the Platinum Rovers, and back home in Polokwane as well. I've been to his house. I've seen his mom. So Wara.
Beautiful. You been to his tournament?
I haven't been to his tournament, but I have an invite. I had an invite last year, but I was being busy. Maybe this year. Maybe this year.
Yeah, hopefully we can get to see that side because
That's all.
I'll also be that side. So like moving on, how hard was the decision of you saying I'm quitting now, I'm becoming a coach?
No, it was the easiest decision I've ever made in my career.
Whoa,
Easiest decision
whoa,
I've in my career. I went to one club and I trained with this club, and I said to myself, football has changed and it's no longer the same. It's no longer the same, and um, no wonder we're struggling. And I said maybe I can become the change, So uh, I stopped. I told myself that I'm not gonna play football anymore. And people don't
whoa.
understand. They still don't understand, man. And I have no regrets whatsoever. I'm at peace. I am happy. I love coaching. I love my players. I love being on the field, and I love helping them, and I love seeing them improving and becoming better. I love the influence that I have in their lives off the field as well. For me, it's better than coaching. It's better than playing for me. The passion that I
Wow.
have for coaching is because you are in a situation to kickstart someone's life, to kickstart a career, to kickstart um life-changing moments for him,
Yeah, yeah.
because this football can change your life, and it can give you a life that you have ever even really imagined. So it's so for me in this position that I am now, I am in a position of privilege to kickstart these careers, and I was also happy now one of my of our players that we recruited this year, Ukosa Manyana, is with the under 17s national team as well, These are some of the stories that we want to create, He was also promoted to the DDC of the club. He's been earmarked as one of the best. There's many other players, in the club, but, being at the national team at that age also will help him to become a better player as well, So these are the stories that I want to hear, that I also want to create and be part of. And maybe in 10 years' time to see him playing for Benfica or Porto or Shakhtar Donetsk or Salzburg or all these European clubs. So for me, that's the passion that I have now. But I think also when I played football because I can play football, and I could play football, so that's why maybe I played football.
So
So
I'm like, well, every time I think about coaching, I look at people like Xavi. I think they get frustrated like when people don't do what they want. They really want them to do. They feel like maybe I can do this best. I thought you'd have the same feeling.
No, for sure, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's especially in that level of shaving because that's the best of the best, the elite. So it's where the money is. For me, Namanje, my focus is development, developing players, helping them off the field, helping them set goals, having the vision to become professional players. You know, that's my, because I work with 16, 17,
Yeah.
18-year-olds. So, but my vision also is to get to the elite level. But also, what's important for me now is to empower myself academically with football education, coaching badges, also other small or maybe short courses in between that to supplement maybe my
Yeah.
knowledge as well. Yeah, but I'm not saying that having all these things will help or will make me a good coach, but I know that it will give me a chance to become the best, you know. Um, also maybe with the vision that I have for PSL and for the national team as well. If we, you know, strive for the same goal, I think we can achieve a lot and we can help the football of South Africa to become better, you know.
You've only became a coach like last year, but already you've won a medal. How does that feel? Do you feel like you're in the right direction, or do you feel like you just got the right team? Or how do you feel about that?
No, of course the club has I think for me they have the best young talent in Cape Town. So um, it's simpler to coach. Yeah, but I'm not maybe
Oh,
coaching abantu that I need to ukuthi ngimfundise ukupasa and yeah, but
yeah,
so it's just nje the timing, the awareness, and all of that. So
tactics,
because
yeah.
we've won a couple of trophies and youth trophies, but I believe ukuthi those things don't make you a good coach or the best coach. Yeah, but I think for me, this is me, right? For me, it's also the influence that you have in a player's life. You know how you help them even off the field to become better people as well. So for me, it's nice. Of course, I'm not. It's nice to win trophies. I'm not saying that it's not nice, but I don't think it makes. We have seen many accidental successes in South Africa whereby teams would win. I remember Baroka beat Sundowns and they went on to beat Pirates in the final of Italcom. But that doesn't make them the best. It was just a
Uh,
very accidental success.
I get that. Thank you, bro. Like we've taken way too long, and like I really appreciate it. So like I want you to leave me with two things. What you want to be remembered as, but before that, tell me who's the best defender you've ever faced.
The best defender.
Yeah, who was giving you trouble.
I I have I always have two players that comes in mind.
Mm-hmm.
First, it was Uchimi Tao
Ooh,
because Ujimi was a offensive um, fullback. So
yeah,
now he forces you to defend, and he was smart. So he knew Uguti, us as wingers we are lazy, or we are
yeah,
deemed as lazy. So he gave me but I didn't play against him a lot of times. But when I played against him, it was always because I was also younger. So with experience,
yeah.
he would kill. And second player is Utsepo Uchesta or Masilela, I think.
Masile.
He, for me, when I look and I see and I say he is maybe probably the best left back that the country has ever had.
Yeah,
I'm
facts.
not. I'm not. I'm not. This is my belief and my opinion. Maybe someone else has something else. In terms of um, smart, awareness, how to use the ball. how to use his body. You know, he was a smart defender. So I think that too. Because also Tsepo I played against him late in my career. I think I remember the first game was when I was a chip. I don't remember quite well. Or Ajax between the two. So yeah, those are the two.
So like the last thing was, what do you want to be remembered as?
What do I want to be remembered as? I don't know, actually. But I think my wish is to always try to inspire and probably use my story and my life as something that can inspire someone, you know, even the lows, especially the lows, because that's where maybe probably many lessons I've gathered, you know. So I want to do that in my life, you know, as much as it doesn't matter if I become a coach or I become a pastor, but basically I want to do that. I wanna help people to realize their dream and to actually live their dream as well. I of course on the field of play, people say many things about me. They will say I was the best dribbler, best this, best that, you know. I think it also goes to the lives that you have touched also while I played football as well. So it's something that I hold close to my heart, and I am this person that I am today because of football and because of nothing else. And I'm forever indebted to football. They have changed my life and changed my family's well-being as well, and it continues to do so as well. Yeah, and so yeah, 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 yeah.
That's much about it.
That's
All right,
more.
bro. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you once more for coming
Yes,
through it. And for the whole country, thank you for what you did at Celtic and other clubs. Like, thank you. God bless you, my brother.
yeah, well, I'm fit. Thank you so much for having me, and also all the best with you and your future endeavors as well, and what you want to create, and also maybe may your um any vlog or a podcast may it
Yeah,
grow. Yeah, may it grow, and abantu invest, kuwe keep imali and be successful.
that is it. Thank you, my brother.
Sharp.
Ooh. Thank you all for tuning in, man. Like, we out of here. It's Conversation with the Stars, hosted by yours truly, Uncle Black.